welcome to our Scraplift video for March. This is the layout we're going to scraplift today. This layout was probably created about 2012, and it uses primarily really much older Creative Memories products. And these are the products we're going to use for our scraplift today. I have some doilies from my stash. I have two little pieces and a whole one. Some gold sequins from Close to My Heart adhesive sequins. I have a couple of pieces from Maggie Holmes' New Bloom collection that I pulled out to kind of go along with I like that blue denim and the little bits of purple. Some flare from the Etsy shop, a flare for buttons. One of them says #spring, the other one says grow. And this layout is going to be a little bit of a hybrid layout, which you'll see in a second. So these are our photos. This is the same little girl that was a baby in the original layouts. And then these are our hybrid products. So I purchased a collection of products from Etsy. These are from Claudia Von R Designs. I might be saying that wrong, I don't know. And so I chose a couple pieces of paper and also some of the embellishments from the kit. I'm going to start by trimming all of the papers down because these papers are sized to the European A5 size. So when I printed them out on my color printer, they printed out with a white border because A5 is just slightly smaller than an 8.5 by 11. But this hybrid, this digital kit that you print, it's like printing cuts and prints. There was so much in this kit. These kits are jam-packed, let me tell you. So these photos are already attached to this white cardstock, and I'm just going to leave them there. And I'm going to use them right attached to that white cardstock. I'm just going to add some Hickory Smoke Distress ink. And this is the colors that I chose to go to kind of ink everything up with. I'm also going to mix metals in this video, so I'm going to have some gold and some silver mixed together. I know I want to stick to the same type of page design as is in the first layout. So I'm going to start by putting my pictures down and just using that as a guide to measure. In the original layout, there were strips of paper that across the top and bottom, but I'm going to use some silver washi tape, and I'm going to put it down across, and this is going to help me as I build my layout to know I don't want to go outside of these washi strips too much. I do a little bit in the end, overlap them a little bit, but for the most part, all of my pattern papers and everything is going to be within those two washi strips. So now I'm going to take the pattern papers that I chose from that digital kit, and I'm going to go ahead and cut them into different strips. The width between the two washi strips on my layout is 5.5 inches, so I'm not going to make any bigger than that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of overlap or do a little bit of like my own version of color blocking on here so that I can make almost like a background behind my photo. So these papers are very, very pastel and light in tone. So I hope that you're able to see them pretty good on the video. I know when I'm looking at them, some of them look like they're just white, but they all have colors and designs. It's just that they are very pastel and very light colored. So now I'm just laying the papers out the way I want to have them in the background. I'm trying to space the colors, the brighter colors and the lighter colors, and have them on top of each other. Now, a true color block, I don't know if the papers really go overlap or go on top of each other, but for this layout, I go ahead and overlap them a bit. And now I have them kind of just the way I want, and I'm not going to trim them and put them down on camera. I skip a little bit and go ahead and do that off camera, but this is how we end up having the papers. And now they're all trimmed and inked up and ready to go. So now I'm taking those two 6x6 papers from the Maggie Holmes Bloom collection, and I'm just going to trim them down. I think they end up being like 2 inches by 3 inches, something like that. And then I'm going to ink them up with the Hickory Smoke Distress ink, and I'm going to place them in the same 3 places that my clusters or my die cuts were in the original layout. So I chose these 2 patterns because I liked the denim look to them. I liked the flowers, and I really wanted to use the deer paper because I want to use the deer die cut on this layout. These pictures were taken outside, and there's lots of greenery in the background, and I thought that it would be a really good layout to use that deer ephemera piece that was in the die cut pack. I'm always kind of, whenever I get a die cut pack and I look through them, I'm always kind of, flowers, little tag stuff you can use all the time, but I'm always on the lookout for the things that are maybe unusual or the die cuts that I don't know if I can use right away, and this deer was one of them. So I was really glad when I thought, that it would, that the deer would work out really well in this layout, and plus the color, that blue, is a nice color with her blue dress in the pictures. So now I have my 3 spots where I'm going to put embellishments, and I'm going to collect together. There's all of those embellishments that I went ahead and chose. Some of them I'm going to use and some of them I'm not going to use. I always tend to maybe grab more embellishments from my stash than I really think I'm going to use, and what often ends up happening is the ones that I start out thinking I'm absolutely going to use are the ones I don't end up using, and the ones that I often am like, well, maybe I'll use this, those are the ones I end up using. So I think for this one, though, I did pretty good because the 4 die cuts that I did choose from the Maggie Holmes Bloom collection, including that deer and this big purple flower, they all end up on this layout. And then the rest I filled in with the die cuts from the digital kit. This digital kit came with, I think, 4 sheets. I think it comes with 4 sheets of die cuts, and they were super easy to print and cut on my silhouette. They went right onto the mat. They traced without a problem. And there were 3 or 4 sheets of die cuts, which means there were probably, till everything was set and done, close to 50 maybe, and then there were words too that came with it. So it was really a very large kit of digital supplies, and all beautiful and spring themed. I'll probably scrapbook with this this digital kit again. So what I'm doing now is I'm not gluing anything down. I'm not taping anything down. I'm just going through all the die cuts, all the project life cards, all the ephemera pieces that I had set aside, and I'm deciding, some that I definitely think I'm not going to use are going to go to the top. Ones I still think I'd like to incorporate are going to go off to the left, and then I'm going to start creating my layers and layering things in. And then once I have everything set up the way I think I want it, I go off camera and glue everything down. So you're not going to have to watch me glue everything down. But I'm just going through here, and remember I said I'm going to mix metals because some of these digital pieces have gold, and the deer has gold feet. So there is some gold in this, but in the photo, the little girl in the photo is wearing a silver crown, so I wanted to make sure that I had both metals represented, that there was some gold and some silver on this layout. So if you'll notice, maybe the acoustics of my voice have changed. I was doing my voiceover upstairs, and my husband and son decided they wanted to play pool, and I was in the room where the pool table was, so I had to go find somewhere else quiet to continue my voiceover. So I hope it didn't change my voice too much, because I know sometimes that can happen. So as I continue, let me find my place in my layout here, since I was so nicely ejected from the room I was in. I'm going ahead and finding just all the little bits and pieces and how I want to set up my embellishment clusters. And that's about it, just going through everything and choosing pieces and getting things together. And figuring out where I want to put the little deer. So now the embellishment clusters are, well, two of them. The one at the top and the one on the left is adhered down and glued down. And this bottom one, the denim of the deer and the denim of the pattern paper, I thought they blended in too much. So I grabbed some hearts, some punches, and originally I thought I would put 2 hearts behind the deer and that those 2 hearts would kind of break up all the denim back there and help to make the deer stand out. But you'll see here after I put them down that I don't really like them a whole lot. I don't think you can tell that they're hearts, and it wasn't the look I was going through for. So in the end, I take a Project Life card, which by the way was also included as part of that digital kit were Project Life cards. And I cut that Project Life card down to, well, originally I cut it to 3x4, and then remembered that it actually has to be cut to 2x3. And I replace the one denim flower paper with the green. And I like that much better. It sets the deer off much better so you can see him. You also saw me punch a little butterfly with my butterfly punch, and I really love that. I think it's super cute. I think, and the way that I lay it out so that it looks like the deer's kind of looking at the butterfly, it's really, really cute. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue the deer down. In the original setup where I had the embellishment clusters, I had some frames covering that bottom portion with the denim paper, and I decide that I want to eliminate those frames after I glued down everything on the left and everything on the top, and I kept looking at that bottom cluster. I really didn't like it. So I'm going to rework the bottom cluster here on camera and do it differently. So I eliminate the frames altogether, and I'm just going to add the butterfly and the flare and the little round green, I think that one's green, circle with the gold heart. And I'm just taking teeny tiny little bits of pop dots now and cutting them teeny tiny so I can pop dot up the butterfly wings. I really like to do that with my butterflies, is pop dot their wings up so it looks like they have movement or they're flying. And the one at the top, there's a purple butterfly up at the top that I also did that too as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just put these together, and then I decided to put a word. So when I print and cut all of the words that were in the digital kit, I used my Xyron to keep all the little letters together. So I have just a small Xyron Create a Sticker, and I just put all the words through that, and it allowed me to keep all the little letters together, and then it also was good for adhesive so that we could put them down. And I think it worked really well. They stayed down, and I didn't lose them. I didn't lose any of these tiny little letters I had cut out. So that worked out good. Originally, I was worried I was going to end up with some trapped white space there between the label and the flare, but I kind of made a little bit of a mistake, which you'll see in a couple minutes, and I end up fixing that mistake by filling in that white space so it doesn't exist in the finished layout. So now I'm going to go ahead and just add up at the top another little circle that has a gold heart in it to fill in that little space up there. And we're done pretty much. I'm going to go to, well, first I have to clean up because I'm a little goofy like that. So I really clean up as I go along because I don't like stuff everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and start to stamp the date on that bottom label, and then I'm going to realize I can't because the flare is in my way. But that's okay. So I'm going to dig out another label, and I'm going to stamp the date on that label and the date the picture was taken, and then put it down. And when I did this, I ended up with stays on my finger, and I had to go clean it off. So now my hands are clean, and my date is there, and that also filled in that little bit of gap between the word memories and the first label. So the top label that is empty right now will stay empty because I'm going to write the little girl's name and her age on there off camera and for her privacy. And then now I'm sprinkling enamel dots and bitty sparkles. The enamel dots are from My Mind's Eye. I tend to buy them every time Crafty Steals has a My Mind's Eye enamel dot bundle. So I keep lots of them in my stash because I use them a lot. And them and Simple Stories make my very favorite enamel dots. And then the Bitty Sparkles, which are from Close to My Heart, or Bitty Sprinkles. And those are from Close to My Heart, and I tend to buy those in a bunch at a time too. So now here is our finished layout. And I'm just finishing up with my tiny little embellishments like I love. And I think that's it. I kept everything kind of simple on this one. So that's our original layout. And there is our new Scraplifted layout. I hope you have enjoyed this Scraplift video. And I hope you will stop back again, like or subscribe. And I love to hear comments, so please leave any comments you have at the bottom. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.